Hello guys, thank you guys for tuning in for another of my rants here at Card Senpai. Again, here based on Tokyo, Japan, and wanted to give my thoughts on the trends and how the market's going, and also talk about upcoming sets. And first set we're gonna talk about is Pokemon. So recently there was a private sale right now for the Charizard that sold for 1.7 million, the Japanese no rarity Charizard. And also there was another one with the Arita signature. It's sold, if I'm not mistaken, for 1.2, 1.3 million. And people, I think, are starting to realize that when it comes to Japanese cards, people start to see the value in them, especially for Pokemon, because of quality and I would say origins, right? So first prints come from Japan and then later released in multiple languages, right? And for the Japanese side, many people right now are being educated that Pokemon prints first in Japan and then distributes all around the world. And for me, I consider that as reprints. For another video, we can talk about that, but right now I just want to say that Japan are first prints, other languages reprints. Doesn't matter what language, English, Thailand, German, Korean, Chinese, doesn't matter. All reprints. Same artwork, same artist. Okay? So one of the reasons why I say Japanese people, Japanese collectors, I mean, like they start to sway more into the Japanese side because they start to see the quality conditions are better. So very similar to buying artwork. When you buy artworks, right? You buy artworks because of what? Because of its originality, right? So if you buy, let's say, if you would buy, for example, what's the biggest thing that I could compare with? Uh, Here, you buy an NBA basketball card. Yes, it's in Japanese, but whereas the basketball originated, right, in NBA, it's America. So you value more what? The original side of where it came from. Same with Pokemon, same with One Piece, same with Dragon Ball. I'll get back into those later, but when we talk about Pokemon, first prints are in Japanese. They are Japanese cards and better quality, better texture, better card quality, basically. People say, oh, it's easier to grade. Is it not a good thing, guys? We chase the card quality, but we tend to want to prove to another grading company that we have good quality. I don't know if you guys can understand that or if that may even make sense. You are looking for a card in English that is good in quality. When they're in when there is reality, there are so many Japanese cards that are proven to be better. Okay, English cards, the text, the languages covers more of the artwork, but for Japanese it's less, so the artwork pops more. Quality is better, uh, quality control, right? Everything in terms of the texture. You could even say the just the finer. I would say the definition of the card, right? And for me, when I look at a Japanese card and English card, I could really tell the difference, and I would want to collect what is much more in a, I would say, top tier, not because of its language. People like to say English is more sought after. I don't think so. I think English collectors are just willing to pay more overpriced for reprints, not because the English card is more valuable. It's because they receive it in English, they use currency of US dollar. That's it. They come to Japan, take advantage of US dollar, and buy Japanese cards is the smart way to do it. But in terms of saying that English card is much more better and everything, there is no chance in hell that English cards are better. Majority of top girls are Japanese. all of the nice cards or grail cards around the hobby are in Japanese. Okay, majority of everyone who collects Pokemon prefers Japanese. So I don't know what else is there to say, but just you know, I I had all the Charizard base sets when I was young. I had all the Neo, maybe not the Shinings, but like some Neo cards. I even had the Lugia. So yes, it's nostalgic. But living in Japan, I start to kind of float towards Japanese because I just see the quality and the realistic viewpoint of Pokemon cards in Japanese. They're much more better looking. Vintage holos are better, basically, right? Card even looks more, I would say, appealing to look. The back has the old back Japanese, which I really like because it shows the history side of Pokemon of how old is it, right? From 1996. And yeah, for me, Japanese cards just for me makes more sense. For example, I can show you this Lugia. Okay, this is one of my personal collections, and for me, Lugia is my favorite Pokemon card, Pokemon of all time. My goat, Lugia, and my favorite starter are Totodile and Mudkip. And I also like, to be honest, I think for me, I like Squirtle more than Charmander because I'm just a water type Pokemon trainer. Because I find water is much more fun. I don't know. Maybe it's the island island guy that's kicking in. But for not many people that knows, I'm born and raised in an island, and yeah, I just fell in love with water type Pokemons. Maybe that's why I like Lugia. Maybe you can say I like some ice too with Articuno. Maybe that's the reason why I really like. For example, I like majority of these water types that are around, right? I love looking at Kindra. Not I ain't gonna lie. I like Swampert for like Mudkip. I like even what's that from Sword and Shield? I'm sorry, Inteleon with his snipe shot. I There's something about water types that's literally just makes me feel I don't know like I connect with them more. But that's I'm swerving off topic, but yeah, I guess people are starting to realize that Japanese cars are much more have more deeper history because people are getting more educated. Now moving on to One Piece, very similar with One Piece, guys. People will realize, collectors will also realize that Japanese cards are much more what better in quality. It's crazy, right? Because maybe if you guys didn't hear in my older videos, English cards are printed and made in Japan. Crazy, right? They're both same print, but when you hold a Japanese and the English side by side, you still can see a slight difference that the Japanese are much more refiner in quality because of its I don't know if it's something with the language that deals with it or it's because maybe they just reprinted the English version. As I said, English are reprints until the global release. You don't believe me? Do you have OP15 in English? No, right? Still waiting for it. So, yeah, Japanese cards for One Piece still prints first, and forever will be etched in stone that One Piece in Japanese is much more older. You could say OP18. OP18 global release. All languages will have all like universal release, but it means OP17 and older. From OP01 to maybe 17, people will realize the Japanese were the first prints, which makes it much more, I would say, uh, in a collector's standpoint of view, much more like valuable, right? Yeah, we have the rotation that's coming up, this and that, but in reality, Japanese cars are just started to take a lot of attraction due to its again collector side. So people say that all the players this and that, but in reality, guys, it's there are three types in this hobby. There are collectors, there are resellers, scalpers, and there are players. So it's like a circle, right? So the collectors hate what? Resellers and scalpers. The players hate the reseller scalpers, but also, for example, they also can bond with the collectors, but same time, a lot of these players are also half collectors. So collectors and players kind of have a little bit of a common ground when it comes to this One Piece or Pokemon or trading card hobby, but resellers, they're just in it for the profit, which is why both sides hate them. But there's three sides into that card system. And for One Piece again, One Piece is pretty hype right now, but I'll say it again and I'll repeat it for forever. Okay, it is gonna be in YouTube. It's gonna be uploaded, and I'm gonna say this: serialized cards, exclusive promotional cards, are gonna be the cards that hold its value due to its exclusivity and its rarity. As long as it's serialized and never printed again, it will hold its value. Modern sets will always reprint. Okay? Modern sets are also available in multiple languages, right? We have the Chinese, we have the oh no, some Chinese are exclusive, so even that it will hold their their uh their value. But in terms of multiple like languages like release, you could see Gold Roger manga. They have a Japanese and they have an English. So it doesn't mean that it's not valuable. Yes, it's hard to pull, but in terms of serialized cards, uh, tournament cards, prize cards, those cards will hold more value because of how to attain them. Anything you pull from modern sets, if it's not serial like Yu-Gi-Oh right now, is gonna be considered valuable. I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh is doing something new. So let me jump into Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh is starting to become very interesting because now they input in serialized cards into products, into packs, which makes it more of a lottery gambles style system, which makes collectors flaunt to Yu-Gi-Oh even more. So Yu-Gi-Oh is pretty crazy right now due to its serial. I cannot imagine that Dark Magician. That it's just a spell card, guys. It's not even an actual Dark Magician Girl monster card. Remember that, guys. So when it does release for the Dark Magician Girl, it would break numbers. And for that Blue Eyes that's gonna release very soon, that will break numbers as well. 100A for Asia, right? So it's gonna be interesting where Yu-Gi-Oh is gonna take place in the next few months. And for Dragon Ball, guys, the new set's gonna be coming and releasing very soon in the few days. The Gogeta set, every Dragon Ball fan's gonna be. I think that card is right now is the most hyped it's been, and I think that will take a lot of attention away from Yu-Gi-Oh and maybe Pokemon. Pokemon has been a little bit in a slow. Maybe I don't know if they're building something crazy right now, but recently they had the Ampharos and Tauros release, so hopefully even the Rayquaza set that's set to release soon is hopefully it's a crazy set also for the 30th anniversary. So we're gonna see where Pokemon's gonna go down at the end of the year. But right now, what's hot is multiple TCGs from Dragon Ball, Yu-Gi-Oh, One Piece, and a little bit of Pokemon because of the vintage side. And yeah, my run again is again Japanese versus English. English cards will always be nostalgic, but Japanese card will much be more valuable in long term because the history backs it up. 1996 versus 1999. Peace, guys. Bye bye.